Monday before Christmas. So it's a little chilly out this morning again, but the sun's out. It's a beautiful day. Can't complain. I just got done feeding milk to the calves. I gotta give them water yet, and I have a tote of a super sack of calf starter that I gotta put into the totes. That's finishing off what we have left, and we ordered some more. Not sure if it'll be ready today to pick up or not, but we're gonna put the rest of what I have in the tote to use up. So here we have the tote. I'm just gonna have to put it on the forks and take it over to the kennel. We used an 18% from Keystone. That's where we get our starter from. We just buy it in these super sacks like this. We'll just haul them. We back haul them when we haul cattle. We'll just push them in. We'll get two at a time, and we'll push them into the back of the cattle trailer. Enough to last me till Christmas. All right, off to the kennel we go. All right, here we are at the tote. I scrounged up pretty much of what we had left last night. There we go. Now I just tied it shut here. I just got to untie it. Alright, that made that look way too easy. 95% of the time you have to pound on it with a hammer just to get it out. It gets all chunky. But I guess since this was the second go around, it's a lot more broken up. So that's all for that. I'm going to feed some grain here to these. These calves love to throw their buckets out right now. They're waiting on their water. Water's warming up. I'm gonna grab my 5-gallon bucket and feed some grain. Man. These calves in this kennel here, we call this the middle kennel. This end one here, last night I accidentally dumped some grain into the water on this one. It was dark and I wasn't paying attention. But these calves here need bedded up today, but they are weaned off of milk, and those will be coming out of the kennel soon. These calves here are younger. They're just starting to eat grain, really. This calf on the end here has a little bit of a hurt front foot. I don't know what happened to it, but it's a little swollen in but I gave her some medication and she's actually starting to put a little bit of weight on it now, but she's still hobbling. Calf number 1 and 2 here are the largest ones for this group, and they're the first two there. They're still on milk, but I definitely need to. I weaned their amount down, but the first one here was being a little sick there for a while, and the second one here was a twin. So, but they're both to the point now where they're ready to be off of milk. They're eating enough grain. Everyone else is, these ones are all pretty young, so they aren't really eating much grain yet. This calf refuses to drink out of the bucket for water. She'll eat all the grain out of the bucket, but when I feed them milk, I have to give that one out of the bottle. Looks like her coat's a little small. Forgot to dump my waters last night. Well, I didn't forget, but I was anticipating a little bit warmer. So that makes for a lot of ice when it's not warm enough. And then these ones up here are ones that, there's 5 in here. I'm still ready for one more. They just started drinking out of the bucket, but I'll give them a little bit of refresher here to appetize them. Usually when this one drank out of the bucket for the first time. Usually when they're little and they don't really eat their grain, I will keep giving them fresh, but then I'll take the old grain and feed it to the older animals, because the fresh smell keeps them quicker to munch on it. That's all for the grain for down here. I do have to take a little up to the kennel up above, but I'm gonna check out on that. Alright, I'm gonna go see if my water's ready. My calf water's not ready yet, but I'm feeding in the calf barn here. This hay that we got, this most recent bale we put in here, I don't think is very appetizing to these younger animals. It's got a lot of woodier stuff in it, rougher stuff, but I think we're gonna use some of that for the heifer feed. I'll probably push this bale back out. They're just not eating it good enough, but I'm gonna push this hay out of the way for now. I did start feeding these a little bit of silage again. We used to feed them silage, but then we sort of took them off of it. But since this hay's not quite as good right now, I think I'm gonna do it again this morning. I did it yesterday and the day before, but I still feed them their grain on top of that. So I'm gonna shovel some of this away and then put fresh in. Get the bucket on the skid loader and we are going to get a little bit of silage. I think that's what I'm going to put them on. I did give them a little bit of the heifer mix, but I think I'm just going to go with silage because they don't really need the extra minerals because they are getting that in their grain. calves are doing pretty well in here. They've been eating a lot of hay and doing good with that. I'm gonna put them on the rye and grain diet up here in the morning too. They'll just get hay and grain at night then, but just to help give them a little bit more something to eat. So. And if you guys are looking, we found a turtle shell. If you need a turtle shell, it's here for you. Otherwise, we're done with feeding the older heifers. We're gonna go feed water to the calves. You're at 39 pounds and you need 80, 70 at least. 50, that's enough. We only have one cow and 2 calves. It's not very heavy. Cow probably weighs a ton. It's a shame we're standing here this long when the air hose is right there. Got some water coming out to the calves now. Since we raised the trough in our barn, we're now able to, we had our 4240 and our 4440. We had the roofs sort of trimmed down to keep the tractor shorter so it would fit underneath. But now that we have that problem solved, I'm gonna put the roofs back on. So here we have the one. I'm gonna put it back together here. I have the roof from the one. We're gonna fasten it back on here. This tractor's the easy one. It's just a matter of bolting it back on. We did take these brackets off here that sort of sit under the roof to hold it flat, but I'm gonna fasten them back on, and then I'll be able to fasten the screws that go around the outside. That these little bolt holes here go in the holes on the roof. It's not very strong, great design, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that back together and see if I can find some lenses for the back to make it look nice. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do here. All right, so we got all these side bolts out and we got our brackets on. I'm gonna set the roof on it and see if I can connect the lights. But first we're gonna just set the roof on. Put the roof front a little. Right here we have a self-tapper, and this roof's a little beat up. Must be 1/4 inch. That means I can use my screwdriver here to help line it up. There we go. Now I gotta get some more bolts to put in. I did put those brackets in a little bit different of spots so that it would, because the roof here has a little bit of cracking on it already, so. So in order to get all the bolts in, we were actually missing a few, so I wanted something that matched. So in our container here of miscellaneous bolts and nuts, I got these screws here. They're also flat head, which matches the other ones. And I have a pack here, hand me down from an old man, probably 69 cents for a whole pack. Uh-oh. Can't lose that information. And then when you 69 cents here, and then for the same pack but newer, it's $1 from Boscov's. So yeah, this would probably be $4 today. So good thing we saved. We also have other miscellaneous around here that we could use. But I'm gonna try to match here with the flathead and the bolt. They might be a hair long, but we're gonna give it a try here and see out. Got the drill, and I'm gonna put some of these in, see if it works. Here this one wasn't quite lining up, so I had to like ream this out a little bit, but I can run this in now. Alright, that one's in there just like that one. And then it gets a nut. I have 3 in here a while. Storing them in my pocket. Now I have the little impact here with the socket to tighten those. Good old socket that don't stay on the anvil. And again. There we go. Now I just got to put a couple more on around the outside. Alright, so we got this roof screwed on here. This roof's not in perfect condition. It's got a crack or 2 in it, but it does have the front lenses on it. I got it bolted all the way around. Seems pretty sturdy. There's a black piece out off around the back here, but it is what it is. There's no lights in the back right now. I might add some in, some lenses, some lights, fix them up. But for now, that'll work now. It'll be able to fit under the trough now since the roof's higher. So, kind of piggybacking on the last video.